Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In this video we will discuss about for loop iterations, enhancements in Oracle Database 21c. Prior to Oracle Database 21c, the iteration control of a for loop was really basic. By default, the loop variable called, for example, I increments by 1 from the lower boundary to the upper boundary. As you can see in the example here, it is showing this is a basic, and also adding the reverse keyword makes the loop variable decrement by 1 from the upper boundary to the lower boundary, as you can see in the second example. All the other sections are related to functionality in Oracle 21c onward, like multiple iterations. We can now string together multiple iteration boundaries as a comma separated list into a single loop definition. We step forward from 1 to 3, backward from 9 to 7, and forward from 20 to 22. As you can see in the loop, it is showing forward, step forward from 1 to 3, reverse or backward from 9 to 7, and then forward from 20 to 22, and you can see the result. Now step range iteration. We can now alter the increment or decrement of loop variable using a step. Steps forward from 1 to 5 in increments of 2, as it is defined here by 2. Then steps back from 5 to 1 in decrements of 2. This step we can define with the keyword by, and then we can mention whatever we want to reverse or forward. Functional stepped ranged iteration. By default, fractional boundaries get rounded to keep the loop variable as an integer. This is true of prior release also. As you can see here, it is the same like previous. Step forward, step by 2, reverse by 2. Oracle Database 21c allows us to define fractional loop variables by explicitly typing the iterand, but the step is still an increment or decrement or 1 by default. As you can see in the example, it is showing for I, and then we are defining the number as a data type 5, 1, and then we are telling the values in decimal 1.2 to 2.2. Then it will go by 1. Normal increment is default increment by 1. Also can be increment or decrement by fractional values using the stepped range iteration syntax. Means, as you can see in example, we are defining here for I and then data type, because we want to specify the decimal in 1.2 to 2.2 by 0.2. Now default is 1, so here we are saying no, make step by 0.2. So you can see the result, it is stepping by 0.2. It is adding 0.2 and doing the requirement. Single expression iteration. In its most basic form a single expression iteration is pretty useless, as it gives a single iteration. Where it becomes interesting is when we add the repeat clause. The upper limit on the iteration is defined by the while clause. In the example you can see here, each iteration increases the loop variable by multiplying the previous value by 5, and while loop is showing where it should end. And you can see the result. It is for I in 1, repeat 1 multiply by 5. So it will repeat by multiplying 5 of the i's current value, and it will not go beyond 1000. And you can see the result. Collection iteration control. The values of indices of and pairs of iteration controls derive their index values from collections, allowing us to easily deal with sparse collections. If you have used values of or indices of for all bulk operations, you will understand what they will do. These examples uses PLS integer as the index, but these collection iteration controls also work with varchar 2 indexes. You can see the example. It is showing the how we can write. First we are defining type is table of PLS integer, index by PLS integer. Then we are defining values, tab T, and we are giving values to that. And then for loop is showing the result. Now we will go in detail. Here also another example of showing the collection iteration control. But this example is for indices. No. First we will discuss indices of. Indices of this iteration control outputs the indices of a collection, not the values. If we repeat the example from the previous section but replace values of by indices of, we see the index values are displayed. As you can see here, index values are coming. As you can see in table, it is defined 1 greater than or equal to 20 and 10 greater than or equal to 30. So values are 20, 30 and 40, but indices are 1, 10 and 100. So here we told for loop to show indices, indices not values. In the previous example, this is for values of. Here we told index to show the values. Sorry, in this. Here we mentioned values of. For I in values of L tab loop, and values are coming 10, 20, 20, 30, 40. Indices are there, but we are here asking for values. So in indices, you understand the difference. If we told indices of, it will show the indices, not values. This allows us to use an index collection to pull out the values of interest from another collection. In the example, we have a main collection with 5 entries and an index collection contains the indexes we are interested in. Notice the values are set to null. As we are not interested in the values, we loop through the index. We loop through the index collection and display the values from the main collection for those indexes. See, we pass values as a null. So if we go to the pairs of iteration gives us access to both the index and the value. We can think of this as an indices of and values of combined into one. This example uses pair of to display the index I and value V for each entry in the collection. As you can see in the example, here we defined values as a 1, 2, 3, and in indices is 1, 2 and 3 is number 3, 4, 5, and then we told our loop for I comma V in pairs of L underscore tab loop, and the output you can see index and value both are appearing. So pair of is the combination of indices of and values of. Skipping and stopping. The when clause can be used to skip iteration variable values that do not match the condition. In the following example, we use the range 1 to 10, but only accept values that are divisible by 3. So you can check the values. The while clause stops the loop as soon as the condition is not met. In the following example, we use a range from 1 to 10 but stop the loop if the iteration variable value is not less than or equal to 5. Clearly that is a simple example, but it allows us to see how the while clause works. Thanks for watching. This was the introduction of a very good enhancement for loop iteration in database 21C. So it is important now, I think, to move to latest versions of databases, as they are providing many good options, many good things, which I will keep showing in next videos as well. Thanks for watching, and hope you learned something good with me. We will meet in another video with some good knowledge. Thank you. Till then, Allah Hafiz. Goodbye.